Hi, welcome back to Death Before Booze. I'm Sam.
I'm Jen.
Hi, Jen.
Hi, Sam.
It is cocky outside. I haven't seen the sun in 3 days.
Yeah.
Is there a song like that? I haven't seen it. 3 damn days. I put your picture away. Oh, yeah, it's that country song.
Oh, see.
Yeah, you're out.
I don't listen to country. I'm sorry.
You're fine. I totally get it.
Sorry.
It's really bothering me. So Jen and I were talking before we started recording because, you know, we talk for like an hour or 2 or 3 before we even start recording. And then it's like, oh, my God. But I forget. There was something I was going to say, and it was so fucking smart. And now I have no idea what I was going to say.
Now I have no idea.
It's gone. Like, just fleeting.
It's fine.
It was a moment of aspiration. It's just gone.
At some point during the episode, Sam will be like, holy shit, I remember. What
I was going to start hearing me bang. Like, oh, my God. But, yeah. So, this is our episode this week.
We are episode 80.
We're at episode 80. I can't believe we're on episode 80. Isn't that nuts? And now you know for the next 3 episodes, like, oh my God, we're at episode 81. I can't believe we made it episode 81. Like, we go through these, like, little, like,
oh
waves.
my God, I can't laugh.
Like, oh my God, can you believe it? We're at episode 85. Oh my God.
But thank you guys for continuing to listen. It's been awesome. And Sam's been rocking it with the reels this month. So, like, those are a lot of fun because I remember back to those episodes that we recorded and how freaking ridiculous they were.
Sometimes we get unhinged. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But
most of the time.
Yeah, that's fair. Most of the time we're just unhinged.
We're unhinged.
We're just making it. So, what is our topic for this week? Jen?
Our topic is Jesus is my homeboy. And that is very broad. It could go any which way.
Yeah. I kind of like the broad ones, and somehow I feel I still might have misunderstood the assignment, but it's okay.
It's fine. We get there.
Yeah.
So mine is a couple more pages long because, of course, I had to pick a serial killer. So I think I go first, too. Do I go first?
Sounds good to me.
All right, I don't remember I don't know what's going on. So anyway, so I'm telling you the story of Carl Eugene Watts, also known as the Sunday morning slasher.
Eugene. I love that name.
So Carl was born in Killeen, Texas in 1953 to his parents, Richard and Dorothy May. His parents got divorced when he was 2, so he and his younger sister moved in with his mother to Michigan. Dorothy remarried 1962, had 2 more kids with the beau, who also apparently had more kids, so it was just like a Brady Bunch type of family. Whatever.
At least it's not that other one. What is it? The Jersey Devil, where she popped out 13 kids.
She had 13.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they weren't all her kids, like her body.
Much better for her vagina now. It's fine.
So, as a kid, he went to Grandma and Grandpa's a lot. They lived in a rural area, so he learned how to hunt and skin rabbits.
Ow.
Which you do. They also gave him the nickname Coral because that's how the southern pronunciation of the name is. So think the Walking Dead memes where he's like, Coral! And everyone like did the yes, no. Okay, anyway, guys, so that's where...
Sorry, I never watched The Walking Dead. But Coral reminds me of,
Coral!
Coral and like the ocean.
Yes.
That's how you say it? Coral?
Apparently the southern pronunciation of Carl is coral. So which is the reason why during The Walking Dead they made all the memes where Rick is like coral and everyone laughed because that's how but it's like that's the pronunciation. So anyway, so for you guys who know the meme,
they say core?
I guess.
You gotta get in the core?
I don't know. I just thought it was anyway. So he was also described as being extremely strange because he started to fantasize about torturing and killing girls and young women at a young age. I mean, as you do. So he's not even a teenager yet, but here we are.
And he told people? I think that's the weirdest part.
I think it was his family was concerned because I think he was talking about stuff and they were like, okay, fine. Now, when he was 12, he contracted meningitis.
Oh, no.
And meningitis is an inflammation of the protective membranes that cover the brain and spinal cord. So not so good. That's why you get your meningitis shot before you go to college because colleges are like, we don't want that.
Get your vaccines.
I mean, we're not trying to be a PSA here, but like,
get your vaccines. I'll PSA.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
The whole 4 listeners, they're gone now, but get your vaccines.
I know, right? 4 people are like, fuck these bitches. Like, I mean, let's be honest. If you've been listening since day one, you kind of know where we stand. So, like,
yeah.
But it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. And if you listen to Patreon, holy shit.
I'm
like,
sorry.
So he nearly died, and he actually had to get held back from school. He had to get a spinal tap, and physicians also said because his body temperature was so high, they thought it caused some brain damage.
I could see that.
Damage.
Get it.
So he did return to school, had, of course, trouble keeping up, and by the age of 16, he was reading at a 3rd grade level.
That kind of sucks.
So this is also when family members started to notice he became isolated, closed off. He had a low attention span, chronic sleeplessness, and he had nightmares about battling off evil spirits of women.
Those bitches.
It's fine. So he also by this time accepted and even wanted the fantasies of torturing and killing. He was just like, oh, I had a bad dream again. Don't care. I'm waiting for it. Cool. Cool.
Jen, I'm scared.
Cool. So, June 29th, 1969, he was arrested for assaulting Joan Gave, 26, while he was on his paper route. And when he was caught by the police, he was like, I just wanted to beat somebody up.
Dude, is that how that works? If I just, like, beat the shit out of somebody,
Just
which,
wanna do it.
believe me, I really could go for a good destroy moment. I just to say, like, oh, yeah, I just felt like it.
Just felt like it. I mean, he was arrested and he had to undergo a psych eval, but, like,
How'd that go?
he literally was... I'm glad you asked, because
psych
not
eval
so
to
great,
know.
because... When they asked if the dreams that he was having disturbed him, he said, no, I feel better after I have one, and he enjoys them, which are the, fending off the evil spirits and torturing people. It was revealed he had an intellectual disability, an IQ of 68 or lower, depending on the source.
Okay.
He was impulsive, was struggling to control strong homicidal impulses, although he seemed to be very intelligent with an excellent memory. So,
Okay.
The psychiatrist, though, believed Coral was a threat to society, and that he was like, he's got to go to an outpatient therapy. He did, and he was released November 9th, 1969. So he went to an outpatient. Didn't really help if we read the rest of this. Doesn't help.
Yeah,
but
how'd that go?
Well, he did manage to get a football scholarship, because even though his grades weren't really great, so he got a football scholarship to Lane College in Tennessee. Okay. And he said exercising helped to suppress his rage. Dude, this is why I weightlift, because the same. Okay. We have something in common. So
You keep weightlifting, Jen. Don't stop. Just don't you stop. You just keep picking up heavy things and putting them down. Don't you ever stop.
Oh my gosh.
Please.
He did suffer a knee injury. But after 3 months, he was thrown out because he was accused of stalking and assaulting women on campus.
What?
I mean, who saw that coming?
Never would have thought. He seemed like such an upstanding citizen.
He also was suspected of murdering a female student, but there wasn't enough evidence to connect him to it. This is going to be a theme for our friend Coral here. There's not going to be a lot of evidence to connect him to shit.
He's just dumb enough, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. He's dumb just enough.
When he was 20, so around 1974 is when he started committing extremely heinous crimes. There's a lot of people and there's a lot of names. I'm probably not going to get all of them. So I apologize. This is just an overview of Carl and his escapades.
I think you're doing great.
He would kidnap victims from their home, torture them, and murder them. Okay. His victims ranged from 14 to 44 and used methods of strangulation, stabbing, bludgeoning, and drowning.
Ew.
Throw in some water. He murdered dozens of women between 1974 and 1982.
And where are we?
But
we're in the South? We're in Georgia?
We're in the South. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're in Texas.
Texas. Okay, my bad. Why did I think Georgia?
But no. You know what? We're not in Texas. We are going to go to Texas, but we're in Michigan because he was born in Texas, but now we're in Michigan.
Okay.
So we're near Detroit.
Got
Detroit.
Did you know you can see Canada from Detroit? I learned that on the TikToks yesterday.
Oh.
During one of the rallies on Saturday.
Yes.
They were like looking across to Canada, and the Canadians were like
waving, like, yeah.
With the Americans were like,
you way to go,
I'm
U.S. We're like, yeah. It's like the Titanic. We're slowly just sinking. Like, yeah.
Save our ship. Help. Help.
Oh, my God. He was actually not discovered until years later because even with DNA testing, it was impossible to connect him to the crimes because he rarely committed sexual acts. So it wasn't a sexually motivated crime. He just wanted it for the murder.
He just wanted to beat the shit out of somebody.
Which, I mean, he just wanted to do it.
I get it, but you don't actually act on it, guy. I get it, but don't do it.
October 25th, in 1974, he attacked Lenore Kaninsky. When he went to her door, he asked for someone named Charles. Now, it just so happened that Lenore had a brother named Charles. So she's like, oh, okay. So she undid the chain and he busted in and attacked her. Didn't kill her, attacked her.
I hate that.
However, Gloria Steele, who was 20, was tortured and killed by Quarles on October 30th. So 5 days later after this alleged thing. She attended Western Michigan University and was discovered with a crushed windpipe and 33 stab wounds. Like,
you think he counted it out? Oh my God, my throat.
I don't know. When Carl saw her, he grabbed her, pushed her door open, and dragged her inside her apartment. He happened to actually be spotted by Diane Williams, who was the apartment resident manager, who saw a black man searching for Charles, which again was his thing. Hey, is Charles here? And they're like, what the fuck? Sir? After he left, Diane also was able to see him from her window, get the make and model of the car, so she did call police.
Diane.
Wonderful.
I'm so proud of you.
Diane?
I hope I'm Diane
Lenore, one
day.
I know, right? Like, I want to be badass.
I want to be the Diane.
I want to be like, hey, got the make and model. I'm never going to be good at that, though. So I'm not the best person to be like, what did he look like? I'd be like,
when you're driving and you see somebody do something stupid, do you like start to memorize their license plate number? I've started to do that now. Like, since we've
I try really hard because I'm not really good at remembering things like details like that. So I'm like, it's gonna happen. Yeah. One day they're gonna be like, hey,
98 Delta 0543
and I'll be like,
I'm like, what?
I'll be like, the car was white and it had wheels. And
a windshield, and somebody drove it somewhere. It had 4 doors. I can tell you how many doors something has.
Yeah, I mean, that's so. Diane and Lenore both ID'd him in a lineup too, so he was taken into custody.
Good.
Here, he was diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder.
He's getting a lot of diagnoses and not a lot of help for him.
Nope. He attempted also to slide at the Kalamazoo Mental Hospital. Mm. He was then moved to the Center for Forensic Psychiatry in Michigan.
Okay.
When he asked if he attacked Gloria, because remember, he attacked Lenore and he attacked Gloria, but Diane saw him, whatever. He denied killing her, but he said he did admit to assaulting other women. So he's like, I've done this before. This is my first time.
Not my first rodeo.
Yeah. So Detroit police executed. I was like, what the fuck? They executed. I'm looking at the word and I'm like, I know what that word is. Why?
Hold on, we need to reboot. The internet connection got really slow.
I literally was like,
that's a word.
Oh my God. Letters. They executed a search warrant of his house. They discovered wooden carving tools, but no evidence that connected him to Gloria's death. He entered a no contest plea for his trial for the assault and battery of Lenore and was sentenced to 1 year in jail.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it. Because it's no contest. Sure, I assaulted her. Great. Uh-huh. I feel like 1 year. I don't know.
And he said he'd done it before?
Yeah, he's like, I didn't kill the person, but I did assault other people. And they're like, okay, cool.
So
1 year.
Go cool your jets.
You're ready to
for
put him
1
out on the
year after he's like admitted that he beats the shit out of people. Cool. Love that. Thank you. Thank you.
The psychologist who did the classification on him said he is extremely hazardous. He lacks remorse. He is impetus. He is careless, emotionally distraught, with a high likelihood of reoffending.
First dude's
give him a year.
That first dude's going, told you so. Told you so.
Yeah.
Told you so.
I said he was a crazy motherfucker, and you still let him out. So, like, what the fuck? So, he was released in 1976. He moved back with mom and stepdad. He actually had a love interest at the time, which only lasted 6 months.
Wonder why.
They had a kid.
What? Oh my God.
Yeah. They had a kid, and he was just kind of like, whatever. His love interest noticed that he was doing weird things, moving the furniture around, using knives to chop up houseplants. He broke candles and melted them into the table. He dumped trash all over the floor. And then he also, she mentioned that after like having sex, he would leave for hours at a time. Like, what?
Huh?
Anyway, during this time, 5 women were attacked and killed in the Detroit region over the course of a year by a perpetrator who they dubbed the Sunday morning slasher. Since all the attacks took place on Sunday morning at around 4 a.m.
Did they only have sex on Saturday night?
I don't know. That might actually be a good point. I don't think it had to correlate. I think he just he's not sexually motivated. So I don't know if he even was like in his
Well, that's what I mean. Because he's not sexually motivated, he took care of it and was like, well, that's checked off the box. Now it's time to go get my next high.
Now it's time to go to church on Sunday. And then it's
Did he go to church too? Wait a minute.
I
was going to say, imagine if
wouldn't it be funny? Like he's like, gotta kill somebody, gotta go to church.
Gotta clear off those sins.
So October 31st, 1979, Janine Klein was a reporter for the Detroit News. She was walking home from a doctor's appointment and she was attacked. She was approached in broad daylight and stabbed. Insufficient evidence was discovered to get a suspect. Shirley Small, a 17-year-old high school student, was fatally stabbed twice in the heart outside of her home.
Oh my God.
In 1980. Glenda Richmond, 26, was the victim of a comparable assault in July 1980 in front of her summer residence. She sustained 28 knife wounds. And Rebecca Huff, 20, was found dead in September of 1980 in front of her house. She suffered 50 stab wounds. Her case was the first homicide that could be directly related to Watts. However, again, many other crimes, there weren't a lot of things to connect him. Not a lot of sufficient evidence because he didn't really leave a lot. So they really didn't connect it because he really had no motive. It was completely random. It was just like, this girl's 20, this girl's 14, this girl's whatever. Like, it just didn't, there was no, anything. So, November 15th, the early morning, 2 police officers were on patrol, and they saw a suspicious man in a car following a woman walking home. Now, the woman hid down the alleyway from the man, and they witnessed the man, Carl, who was stalking her, going out of his mind because he couldn't find where she went. He was detained by police, pulled over, because of outdated license plates and driving with a suspended license.
Excellent.
They examined his car. They found a package containing wood filing equipment, a few screwdrivers, and a dictionary that belonged to one of the victims. But it was not enough to hold him for murder. But they put him on police surveillance. However, Carl was like, fuck you, I'm moving to Texas. So he moved to Texas the next year. Yeah, this is going to happen a lot. Like, he's just going to, it's very frustrating. This was very frustrating because I was like, what the fuck?
I'm not happy right now.
You're not going to be happy as it goes on because it's not going to get better.
I'm still not over the first one that he stabbed twice in the heart. Like,
I know.
Everything you said since then is kind of spotty.
Right. So, the Michigan law enforcement did say, okay, they tracked him to where he was in the Houston area in Texas, and they're like, okay, we can't really keep eyes on him, but he did send the guy's entire file. He sent Carl's entire file to the detective, and he said, I'm mailing this down. This guy is a predator. You need to watch him. Fun fact at the time, Houston was known as the murder capital of the world and had 700 homicides in 1981.
Oh my God.
So it could be the reason why Carl went there was because, hey, I could keep killing people and fuck it. Everyone's too overworked and whatever, because that's the case. The police were underpaid, understaffed, overwhelmed. So this was perfect. He can get away with shit. Which he did. So, in Houston, women reported being assaulted and stalked by the same man. He also committed break-ins and murders at this time. Lots of murders, but there's, like I said, there's a lot of victims and there's a lot of names, but I was like, I can't, it's just too many. He had no pattern, no eyewitnesses, no motive, no evidence. There's no way to connect him to any murder. So, where we go. However, okay, hold on. I printed this out, but it came.
Oh my God.
I printed it out, but it like. I'm sorry. It's fine. We're back. So, we're back. Ooh. So, May 23rd, 1981, Michelle Mayday.
Mayday.
Yeah,
Mayday.
Mayday. Seriously. She was
I'm not
20.
Making fun of a victim, I promise. I'm not.
No, it's just a matter of like, holy shit, this is fucking crazy shit because So, okay. She was 20. She was assaulted and drowned in her bathtub in her apartment.
No.
Later that day, he broke into the apartments of Melinda Aguilar, who was 18, and Lori Lister, who was 21. So they lived together. Mm-hmm. He choked Melinda, and Melinda pretended she was unconscious, while he took Lori upstairs to the bathroom with the intention of drowning her. Melinda was able to escape.
Thank God.
She leapt out the window to get help. The neighbors called the police. Lori was saved also. So Lori, even though his plan was to kill her, was not. And Carl was apprehended after trying to run away. Because we're surprised by that.
Oh, shit.
So, while he was being held, investigators started to connect him to several other killings in the area. So, now at this point, they have him for the assault with the intent to murder these two girls.
Yeah.
But Texas didn't think they had enough evidence to get him on murder. So they made a deal. It's going to get better, I promise. But right now it's not good. So the deal was in May 1982, after the attacks, the district attorney, Ira Jones, brokered a plea bargain. She said Watts would only be charged with burglary with intent to murder if he confessed fully to his crimes in Texas and received immunity from prosecution on the murder accusations. So, this was a 60-year deal for sentencing. Because it was, it was his... for the offense, whatever. The deal was accepted, and he later led the detectives to the graves of 3 victims. So, he's getting charged for burglary with the intent to murder. But he has to agree to talk about the other murders, which he does. But he cannot be prosecuted for those murders in Texas. I want to make that clear because he murdered people in Michigan, but in Texas, he can't.
Okay.
That's going to come into play.
But he's going to get 60 years.
Yes, so he's definitely getting 60 years.
That means he'd be in his
But
90s
hold on.
when he got out anyway.
But,
unless
but hold on,
okay.
because
I'm spiraling.
We're still on the roller coaster.
Oh, God.
So Watts did acknowledge he attacked 19 women and murdered 13 of them.
You think he kept like a tally? Like, okay, this is number. Like at some point, would you feel like that's a lot.
It really is, and like honestly, I don't know. Like, I guess if that's like your thing, like if you're like, hey, like to murder people, one. But he like he also admitted to 80 additional murders in Michigan and Canada.
He went to Canada? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But he didn't say anything about those murders, but he was basically just chatting because he already got the plea bargain. He knows he's not, getting the death penalty, whatever. But also he's like, okay, so I did attack 19 women and I did kill 13 here, but I killed 80 up there. And they're like, okay, so how did you do it? He's like, not giving you that information. So, okay, cool. He was never put on trial for the majority of the murders despite his confessions because the agreement was made. Mm-hmm. When they asked him why he did this, he said he could see the evil in their eyes. So here we go back to...
Oh, bitch, we'd be dead in a heartbeat. He'd look at us and be like, next. Like, I'm sorry.
Next.
That's right there.
Next.
If I get rid of those two... I bet I can stop killing altogether.
I feel great.
Yes.
And see, the thing is, like, I don't think it was really... Because as I was researching, I'm like, this does connect to, like, the idea of, like, evil and good and him taking... But it's not... He didn't do it as, like, Jesus is speaking to me and I am killing all these people for him. He was just like, I just like punching people. I just like killing people. So, like, okay.
Yeah, we'd be next. There'd be a list. It'd be like that Adam Sandler movie with Steve Buscemi. We'd be on the list. Top of the list. On the list. With lipstick. Yep, that's us.
Oh my God.
Death before
yes, and then the cross.
Just crosses off. Oops.
But this is where the agreement kind of screwed them in Texas a little bit because he was sentenced to 60 years as he agreed. But a couple years later in 1987, after he tried to escape and failed.
Idiot.
I don't fucking know. He decided, let me appeal. So he goes to the Texas Court of Appeals. This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard, by the way. They ruled that he had not been informed that the bathtub and the water he attempted to drown Lori in was considered a deadly weapon. So therefore, it can't be attempted murder.
But he tried to strangle the other one. What? I need to tell you that you can stop somebody from breathing by holding their throat down? Like,
well,
I'm not understanding.
Because he didn't know the bath water and the bathtub could be a deadly weapon, it violated his rights because they failed to mention that it was a deadly weapon. So during the court session when they were talking about the drowning, they never said which is a deadly weapon. I don't think you really... But this is the loophole that they found.
Okay.
So...
Who's the lawyer who did this? I think they need to get put on that evil, bad in their eyes list.
Yeah. I agree. So the ruling reclassified him as a non-violent felon, making him eligible for early release because this was his first offense.
But it's not. It's not his first offense because when he was in wherever, he went to the psych ward because
Texas.
No. Don't you get a permanent record? What did they talk about in that Doug Funny episode? It was going on your permanent record.
Permanent record. I know. You would think, but no. Apparently it doesn't go state to state. So at the time, Texas law allowed non-felons to have 3 days deducted from the sentence of every day served as long as they were well behaved. So he was a model prisoner.
Because there's no women around.
He had enough time deducted from his sentence that he could have been released in 2006. So it was no longer a 60-year sentence. So Michigan went, oh, wait a second.
Hold my beer.
Because I got some stuff for you. So, in 2004, the Michigan Attorney General went on national television saying, "Hey, listen, can people come forward with information about these string of murders that happened in the 80s in Michigan?" So, and he was trying anything that he could grasp to be like, okay, let's make sure he doesn't get out. Joseph Foy of Michigan came forward and he said a guy fitting Carl's description murdered Helen Dutcher, a 36-year-old woman who died after being stabbed 11 times in 1979. Mm-hmm. So Joseph said he didn't see the murder, but he identified Carl by his eyes because he described them as evil and devoid of emotion.
I love that.
So here we go. We got our guy.
Okay.
So although Watts had immunity from prosecution for the killings he did in Texas, he had no immunity agreement in Michigan.
And he did tell authorities that he had killed people.
He did say that.
Although he didn't say how, he did say that he killed people.
He did say that.
He did. I remember you said that like 30 seconds ago.
Yep.
It was like at least 4
And I mean,
ago.
he was excited to tell them that. And they were like,
everything.
well, tell us how. And he was like,
no.
No.
Now I'm shy.
So the jury would be able to, so not only that, but the jury would be able to hear about the murders and the attacks in Texas as a way to be like, look what he did there. So check him out here. Like, it's not so far gone.
Yeah.
Carl was charged with Helen's murder and found guilty in 2004.
Good.
And he was sentenced to life.
Yay.
Then 2 days later, authorities gathered information to charge him with Gloria Steele's murder in 1974. That was one of the first couple women he murdered. 2007, he was convicted and sentenced to life without parole.
Thank you. Something went right.
Here is the real big kicker of this case. A couple of weeks after he was sentenced, he died of prostate cancer. So he didn't even serve out his sentence.
This in the nicest way possible. Good.
I'm not saying it's not good. I'm just saying that it's unfortunate because like they had to go through all the hoops because legitimately he would have been the first serial killer in history to be released, knowing that he killed people because he agreed to a deal where he couldn't be touched for the murders. So Michigan's like, fuck that. We got this. So he didn't get, I don't know how many people he actually killed. He said 80. Again, as you're saying, like, do you actually keep count? Are you just, is it a rough estimate? Are you trying to over exaggerate?
First off, let's have a serious conversation with this. So like, I love books. I know you're shocked. I love books. I read a lot of books. Or like in my lifetime, I've probably read hundreds of books. Do I remember every book I've ever read? No. I mean, and that's my hobby. That's what I do. I read books. Mm-hmm. This guy's hobby, unfortunately, is
killing people.
And although I'm sure he enjoyed killing every single one, do you really think he remembered them all? And like you said, is he inflating the numbers now because somebody's listening to him? He's like, look, I'm a badass. I killed like 1 million people. I'm so cool. Oh my God.
Right.
Like,
and we already know because chances are from the meningitis.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
He had
disabilities.
Like the disability, and his IQ was anywhere from 68 or below, depending. So is he just being like, I killed a lot of people? Now, obviously, yes, he was intelligent and he had a really good memory.
Yeah.
That's what they said. But 80 is a lot. And again, it could be, but he was only charged in all of the things. He was only charged with 2 of them.
2 of them, and attempted murder that got overturned.
And yes, that got overturned because apparently he doesn't know that the bath water is a deadly. Which, listen, okay, if you go deadly weapon, my first thought isn't bath water.
You know, when you say deadly weapon, it's when you said it to me, I think of lead pipe from fucking Clue.
Right,
the lead pipe. I don't know why that's what always. Not
the candlestick, like a heavy candlestick,
a knife. Like no fucking lead pipe every fucking time.
The lead pipe, because that's. But like, yeah, I don't. So it's
get it.
fair. I don't necessarily think bath water.
I don't.
But how did you? Were you just? What were you going to do?
If you
Just,
didn't know it could be a deadly weapon, why were you holding the girl's head underwater to kill her?
Agreed.
Like, hello. Hello.
Agreed. But because it wasn't said, see, this is the reason why there's always these loophole defense lawyers who are like, well, technically, because he wasn't told.
I wonder
Again,
how much this guy was getting paid to like be like, okay, you needed to be told that. Let's get you off of this. Like, how much did that guy get paid? Like, I don't I don't get it.
That's why it's so. To me, I was like,
Drives me crazy. I
what?
cannot.
That's how you could potentially let a serial killer out, is because you didn't explain that water could be a deadly weapon.
I can't get past and I know I can't get past the lawyer being like, yeah, I'll take your case. You're right. You definitely should not be on for attempted murder, even though you admitted to attempted murder. This isn't just.
Well, I mean, were you told?
In that guy's Cheerios for him to be like, yeah, I'm taking this.
Were you told that this is a weapon? No. Well, you know what? That's what we're going with. And you know what? That's so fucking funny is that it worked. Like, it worked.
There were no other cases for you to pick up that day. That's the case you. It's not. There were no other.
Do you think it could have been like a joke case
flying down the street for you to follow? Like, come on.
It could have been a joke case. People are like, "Hey, listen, this guy wants an appeal. Who wants it?"
I wonder if there's like a
give it to
Reddit
the new guy
thread for just like lawyers who are like, "Dude, let me tell you what I did." Like, is it just one of those? I wonder if I could get him off for this. Holy shit, I got him off. Like,
how
sleazy can I be today?
I know. That's really
talk about a hold my beer moment.
I know. It's really,
and I'm sorry, like, maybe you are, whoever this guy is, maybe, or human, maybe they were a good person and this was just a blip on the radar, but like, who says, yeah, I can't wait to take this case and let me get him off? This was like,
I agree. I almost feel like it was one of those, like, okay, it came to the appeals court, so someone has to take it. He's like, all right, fine. And then he was like, oh, here's the loophole. But like this, I just, you're right. Like, if it's a heavy case with a very,
I didn't even think of that. Like, history. Obviously, he must have, like, if he couldn't afford it, an attorney needed to be provided.
And had to take it. So someone had to get, but the fact that he found something, but like the fact that he said, but even so, I feel like he could have been like, I'm good. And then someone else, like, there's a lot of like appeal lawyers. I assume it's more than just.
Yeah,
like, oh, that guy?
I don't like how this feels. It makes me feel
it's terrible. It's awful, and I hate it. But at least, I mean, again, it's unfortunate that, like, he literally got sentenced to life without parole, and everyone was like, hell yeah! And then, like, 3 weeks later, he died of cancer, and everyone's like, I mean, it's great. I'm not saying it's not great.
No, because
he's a terrible
let's all
person.
be real here. If they didn't do all that, he would have lived a long, healthy fucking life, killing more people. Like, it never would have.
Yeah.
It worked out how it was supposed to work out. It is okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So.
All right. Well, now
that's
that I'm
our friend
thoroughly ruffled, my feathers are up. Let's get on to my story. Yay. Which really isn't much better. So, I'm covering the Sedamsville Rectory in Cincinnati, Ohio. So Sedamsville is a very small neighborhood. It's like 2-3 blocks of Cincinnati, and it's right on the river, and it's right on the railroad. Cool.
Oh.
So the rectory is located at 639 Steiner Ave in Cincinnati, and it was built over 120 years ago. And the church itself was dedicated on May 5th, 1889. But the parish was organized in 1878. So this has very long roots. It's there. Currently, the Midwest Preservation Society is working hard to restore it back to its original condition.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. It is a Gothic Revival style church. And because of how affluent the area was and how large the congregation was, they built a rectory for the priests to live in next door. So this facility has over 6,000 square feet of space and 4 levels. On the first level, there's a parlor, a living room, a library, a formal dining room, a kitchen, and a bathroom. And the kitchen also has a staircase that leads up to the second level, which means there are 2 staircases. Big deal.
Oh.
There's a servant's quarters located on the second floor, and the level also has 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, a beautiful staircase going back down to the first floor, and then there's also a staircase going up to the humongous attic. The rectory also has a full basement that is divided into 4 separate areas. Why do I keep adding R's to everything? Oh my God, Medea, stop. I've been doing it all day. Okay, so let's talk about Father Donald MacLeod. MacLeod. Yeah. He wrote, quote, "The history of Roman Catholicism in North America in the 1800s," which I guess was like a big deal. I don't know. But he also resided in the rectory. Unfortunately, one night in the late 1800s, he was going to provide comfort to a really seriously ill woman and was hit by an oncoming train.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's not just... Oh,
yeah, no.
It's a little loud. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. He was just like, let me
go
help
car?
Joan.
No.
And
holy shit. He just got hit by a train.
Killed instantly.
An entire train.
Killed instantly.
Wow.
So now it's rumored that his ghost resides at the rectory, but locals have also seen his apparition walking along the street in front of the building, as well as crossing the railroad tracks when he gets...
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Unfortunately, the rectory is also associated with allegations of abuse. So reports suggest that some of the priests who resided there possibly were harming children, both physically and sexually.
We're surprised. Sorry.
I'm sorry. This is also considered to be the culprit of the sense of sorrow and anger felt by investigators when on the premises. There's also stories and actually documentation of a brutal dogfighting ring that was set up in the basement of the rectory. And this is from when the rectory was vacant in the 80s. Like, so there was a point where the church shut down, the rectory shut down, and nobody lived there. Nobody did anything there.
Right.
Now they're renovating it, obviously. But in the 80s, it was just completely empty.
Open.
And people took over and had this horrible dogfighting ring. And they found documents and paperwork in the basement to like, oh yeah, this actually happened. So it's not...
That's such bullshit.
Yeah. So now people believe that the negative energy is stuck on the property permanently, and this negative energy is tormenting the current owners. So paranormal claims for the rectory. I tried to list them from like least bad to worst.
To worse.
So let's see how I did. You let me know. So there's a feeling of unease and dread felt by visitors and volunteers. Visitors have heard unexplained footsteps and voices, piano keys playing on their own downstairs in the parlor, the sounds of dogs growling and barking in the basement. Puppies.
That's so sad.
Why are they gonna do that to the animals?
That makes me sad.
So mean.
Have your own fight club. Like, don't get animals involved.
Seriously.
Like, fucking beat the shit out of each other. No one gives a fuck.
God.
Exactly.
Rude. Seeing and hearing doors opening and closing by themselves. Hearing children talking and playing in the attic.
Oh, I don't like
I
that.
hate that.
I really don't like that.
Hearing demonic growls.
No.
Outside of the basement. So it's not like, it could just be the dog apparition.
The dogs.
It's not the dogs.
It's not the dogs.
Witnesses working on the building have seen eerie mists and shadows under the doors of empty rooms. Claims of people being scratched by an unseen presence. Claims of people being bitten by an unseen presence. An unseen presence, apparently. An unseen presence leaving an indentation in the shape of a body on the bed in the master bedroom. A suitcase and a rocking chair upstairs moving on their own in the rocking chair room.
Oh, there's a rocking chair
There's
room?
a rocking chair room.
There's just a room just for one rocking chair or many
That is an awesome question. Something that I don't have an answer to.
I didn't. If you're gonna name it the rocking chair room,
Do you think there'd be a collection of rocking chairs?
you would think so. Sorry,
I don't know. No, you're fine.
That was my.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. There are claims of a shadowy movement under the door of the pantry, as if somebody's walking around in the pantry. Claims of a man dressed in dark clergy robes walking between the living room and parlor. How do you say that word? Parlor? I say parlor, but I know that's not right.
I guess
I've said
it depends.
it differently every time I've said it so far. And then finally, it is rumored that there have been multiple possessions of investigators while on overnights. How'd I do on my list? Did I do good?
Oh, what? Oh, what?
Possessions. Yeah.
You can't just end with that.
Well, I have more.
Like, what Oh, okay. I was going to say, what happened?
Of, like, the lists, but yeah, we're going to get into it. So, the current owners... Now, what are their names? It's down here. It's Terry and something else. But these two people, they're partners, like a guy and a girl, and they're together. And they have the building. They're the ones working to restore it. And so the current owners wrote a blog about one specific event. So the vacant house next door to the rectory had been vandalized. And they took some items out of the house that were left in the backyard to just kind of rot. And they were like, it was like books and like trinkets and stuff. And they're like, some of these are historical. We could probably use them in the rectory. We're going to pick them up. So they picked up a few books, put them in a shoebox to place inside the rectory library instead of leaving them outside to be ruined. The moment they walked to the back door with the shoebox of books, they also brought in like a reproduction of a Monet. The rectory seemed to come alive. It was screaming in protest. They heard growling, whispering. A door upstairs slammed shut. The rectory got very dark. They also heard what sounded like a woman crying, and they proceeded to bring in the items while reciting the Lord's Prayer aloud, and it still didn't calm anything down.
Bro, leave the books outside.
I am all for these books.
I'm all for rescuing books and giving them some love, but Jesus Christ, leave them outside.
Maybe bring them to your house, not the rectory.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe not. Jeez, what were these books? What the hell?
Yeah. So here's a Yelp review I found from Emily R. And so it's very obvious and well known that this place is haunted. This is one of those haunting places that you're going to get something no matter where, kind of like the Sally house or the Villisca Axe murder house. Sometimes they turn into paranormal labs. So this is one of those places. And they went for Halloween horror. It's a thing they run in October, obviously, where they get to do a paranormal investigation with a whole bunch of people. So Emily R. went to Halloween Horror 2. This was the coolest experience ever when it comes to ghost. It was my first ghost investigation, and I couldn't have asked for more. In the, quote, creepy room, one of the ladies had an ovulus, and the words we saw were demon, burn, trap, human, run. And then we left. You would have left too.
Yep.
One of the downstairs rooms, some of us smelled a strong perfume. I followed it into the hallway and started smelling people. And it wasn't anyone, then it dissipated. I would be that person going, come here, I gotta smell you. Girl, Emily R., we are like people. You should be listening because I get it. I would be running up to people sniffing them too. Be like, come here, I gotta smell you.
Is this your perfume?
Yeah,
you
that just smells great. It's not what I'm looking for, though.
But not even to me, I picture this as her not even asking people, her just being like,
yes. Could you not imagine that being
people excuse me?
Gain?
Yes.
Gain? You wear Gain? That's not what I smell, but that's Gain. Okay. What's this? What's that? I definitely
would smell delicious.
Yeah, you smell great. That's not what I'm looking for, but you smell amazing.
Oh my God.
Okay. Then I later heard a story about that happening before and that there might have been a woman who was haunting the house. After that, I went into a doorway of a room across the hall and saw a 2.5-foot shadow against the other door. Then I looked again and it was gone. I told some people and we tried to recreate it and couldn't. There wasn't anyone else in the room and the light was such that it couldn't have created a shadow that distinctly. Then later I heard stories about puckwudgies, which I think we've talked about, but I haven't actually covered. It says, who are small creatures that might be haunting the location and that other people have seen as well. They are known for Ohio, but we'll get to that later. Later in the night, way after midnight, we went down to the basement and we had lots of equipment going. And I believe we conversed with the spirit of a dog, a child, and a recently passed friend of someone who was there. There was lots of unexplainable phenomena happening that you would have just had to be there to believe it. I think there were 2 people videotaping it as well. Not sure where to find those copies. Sorry. She's so cute. Whoever this Emily girl is, we need to be friends with her.
She sounds adorable. I think we should be friends with her.
I think we should too. Emily, at me. So I also got to meet 2 paranormal investigators, Marley Gibson and Patrick Burns, and we got to watch Ghost Adventures episode where Sedamsville, while they were in the attic with all the people they showcased in the room with us. Talk about a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Check out their website for more info about yearly events, and you won't want to miss out. So there's that.
So I have a question.
I hope I have an answer.
How... And I'm not trying to be like, how do you know it's a dog spirit that you're conversing with? Is it because like it's like, you know, like I'm picturing like you communicate with them and like maybe it's a shape of like the stick man one that people do,
I mean,
you know,
maybe.
like that.
I was kind of thinking,
I don't know.
I think when they said conversing with, it was the spirit of a dog, a child, and a recently passed friend. Like, I think it was kind of just a list. So, like, maybe they heard the barking or somebody felt the dog rub up on them.
Okay.
Like, I think it was more them just explaining, like, the flutter of events that happened. So, like, when they said they communicate, I don't think it was, like, the dog going, I wish I had a bone right now. It was probably more like, like they got a dog bark. And when they started talking, like it continued to bark or a whimper. Yeah, something like that.
Right. Okay. So is this house or this place... Are they planning to just restore it as like this is a haunted house and that's it, or are they trying to like redo a rectory?
I say it later, but they're trying to turn it into an Airbnb.
You know what?
Get the
that's
fuck out.
Always how to go. That's how you go when you have a haunted area. That's what you do.
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, so then the paranormal investigators of Milwaukee were there. And I copied and pasted this from their website. These are their personal experiences, so I wanted to make sure I got it right. That's why that's why I copied and pasted. I don't want anybody to think I'm stealing things. It's just I want to make sure I get it right.
You're citing your sources. It's fine.
Okay, cool. So this is how I cheat. I just cite my sources. It's fine. Plagiarism. Go listen to it on Graveyard Chats on Patreon. During our investigation of Sedamsville Rectory, a number of odd occurrences were reported, from seeing shadow figures to being physically touched. So an investigator claimed to see a shadow figure on the first floor near the door to the living room. Gravy felt like he stepped on something soft like a kitten when he was starting to go down the stairs from the attic. Gravy.
Jesus.
I love that somebody's name is Gravy. Gravy thought he heard someone say damn while he was in the basement. A voice or loud breath was heard in the second floor hallway near the servants' staircase. Then Missy, who was sitting in the master bedroom in a chair with her legs slightly apart, felt pressure on the outside of her legs as though someone was trying to push them together. Just prior to that, she felt pressure in her chest.
Oh, no, thank you. I'm okay.
I'm good. Well, then Ghost City Tours investigated there as well, and this is one account that stood out to me from them, and quote, the first thing that happened was simply something and now that's the writer, I have no clue what his name is, sorry Ghost City Tours, but I don't know who you are. So, something I observed. Chris and I were at the rectory by ourselves. Skippy, another great name, had went out to grab some McDonald's at 1 a.m. While Skippy was gone, Chris and I stepped onto the back porch to gather some ideas for how the remainder of the ghost hunt would go. We were just talking casually when I noticed a big change in Chris's behavior. Now, if you know Chris, I don't know Chris, but if you know Chris, you know he's one of the most peaceful, relaxed guys around. I have personally never seen the big guy get angry. Ever. He just started talking about how angry he felt. I grabbed the camera and pointed it at him, filming what was going on. He really took on a different persona. He kept going on and on about how he just needed someone to fight, eyeing me up. I would be lying if I said I wasn't slightly nervous. I was preparing myself to jump out of the way just in case he decided he was going to push me off the porch. He stormed off to the abandoned church beside the rectory. He vomited in the parking lot, took a few minutes to himself, and came back feeling fine. I'm not going to say something was influencing his thoughts and how he felt. However, I don't know how else to describe it. The Chris I was talking to just wasn't Chris.
Okay.
Possession. But it's possession, but
there
we're
it
not going
is.
to call it possession, but it's possession.
We're okay.
And finally, our favorite
Yay!
Ghost Adventures
It's our
crew
friend Zach.
investigated here. And this is back when
What did he do?
Nick was still part of the team. I honestly kind of feel like he might have handled this one correctly. I mean,
Okay.
who am I? But so the owners, here we go. Tim Brazil and Terry Scott. They're trying to renovate the house. Now, this is from years ago. Like I said, Nick was still involved. So that kind of, if that helps you gauge when this was, it was a while ago. I think it's like season 6 or 7. They were having paranormal problems while they're trying to do these renovations. So Zach and the others come and they do whatever. So they meet other investigators who have been on ghost hunts here. And they had many EVPs, and a lot of them had swear words. One was they were being called whore and bitch just repeatedly. So the EVP is just whore bitch, whore bitch, whore bitch the whole time.
That's so good.
Also, when a male investigator walked over to the basement door, it was said that the door just opened and closed by itself. Then the male investigator blanked out and was unresponsive, standing there for minutes. When his partner tried to talk to him, he remained unresponsive, and it was almost as though he was in another world. So that's like another account. Then Terry, one of the owners, had some experiences of her own. So one day she's there and she's walking and she gets shoved. It wasn't enough to knock her down, but it was enough to make her catch her breath. She, as Zach said it, quote, lost the battle that day and broke down crying. Then she goes on to say that she's still worried about what could happen if she gets shoved again, especially if she was in front of the stairs.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah. And I want to note here that all through, like, you know how they do in the beginning, they do like a walkthrough with the whomever is in charge. So they're doing the walkthrough, and the entire time Terry is terrified. I don't mean alliteration there. Like she herself is like, I am absolutely terrified to be in here.
So she's rent.
They own the building.
The
this is their property, and they're renovating it. And she's
not afraid
okay
to be there.
Yeah, she's not okay.
Oh Lord,
Yeah. So Zach is like, there's absolutely something horrible here. We need to fix it. So they bring in Father Ashcraft. And now, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Father Ashcraft, but he is an exorcist in the Catholic Church. I follow him on like TikTok and stuff. He's very open about this stuff. He's worked on other episodes with the Ghost Adventures crew. I think he was at like Bobby Mackey's with them a couple times. Like,
probably.
He's a high level exorcist for the Catholic Church. They bring him in to perform an exorcism, and as they're doing this, they get growling. At the start of the exorcism, Tim and Terry both react to something that no one was aware of, and at this point, everyone believes that they are in the presence of something very dark.
Yep, I would say.
A strong scent of burning sulfur is sensed by everyone, and then Father Ashcraft clarifies that foul odors are a factor towards demonic activity, which I think we all kind of know. After smelling the scent of something burning, Zach notices that Tim's actions begin to change. And this is kind of where I'm like, this is why I think he handled it correctly. Like, there's years and years of all this demonic talk and bad, evil energy at this place. And he knew it was bigger than himself and didn't just go with the, we're going to get the demons out like he did at Pavilion, you know? And then he notices that Tim is changing, and it's not like Zach is changing. See where I'm going with this?
Fair. Yeah, no, I see where you're going.
Okay. So Zach notices Tim's actions begin to change as the exorcism continues downstairs. Tim becomes more uncomfortable and ill and starts to act aggressively during the cleanse. To add on, at an unexpected moment, Tim abruptly leaves on his own and explains to Father Ashcraft that he does not want him at the rectory. So now the owner of the building is telling this guy, I want you out.
Yeah, then that's okay.
Yeah. So this is the point where Tim leaves and Father Ashcraft is like, he's oppressed. Like, it's attaching to him.
Mm-hmm.
Then Ashcraft, Nick, and Aaron say what they describe as they see what they describe as a demonic shadow figure. They all see him at the same exact time in the same exact room upstairs. And then there's an EVP of laughing. So I don't really think that this whole exorcism thing worked. I'm going to be honest. Like, I'm not trying to be that guy, but I don't think it worked. But Father Ashcraft does his thing. He blesses the place and leaves. So then for the rest of the lockdown, Aaron, who we all know how much I love Aaron. He's like my favorite in the entire world. And I feel so bad for what's going on with him right now. I really hope he's okay with that fucking crazy ass wife. Anyway, he files for divorce. Here's your update. He filed for divorce. Like, good for him. Good on him.
I mean,
she's being held on like $100,000 bail. I'm like, good.
You kind of have to file for
immediately
divorce,
file for
I
divorce.
don't see anybody coming out of that.
No, I actually put up on Instagram like a couple days after everything broke, just like a smiley face and was like, "Thank you." Like, you know, it's hard, but like I'm okay. Like that type of post.
Oh,
yeah. So it's like, and my heart's breaking for him. He just deserves so much happiness. He's like such a good guy. I don't know him personally, but I feel like he's just a good guy. Anyway, so Aaron, worst thing he could have done, uses provocation, and the camera in the attic malfunctions and loses signal. Billy feels uncomfortable being in the house until he gets to an upstairs room, and then he feels even worse negative energy. And he's like, I hate everything about it. And then he sees a dark shadow, and he's like, bitch, I'm out. Then they get doors opening and closing, an EVP that says Christian, and an apparition that Zach gets in a picture. He snaps a digital infrared, and he gets what he describes looks like the face of a demonic creature.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, just perfect. Love that for us.
Are we still locked in here?
Yeah, we are.
Let's leave.
Well, I think that's the end. I think that's where they were locked in, but they finally leave. After the investigation, Zach kind of checks in with Terry and Tim, and unfortunately, Tim continued to have symptoms of the demonic oppression.
Oh, no.
And he was kind of taking it out on Terry. And it seems at the time of this, they were struggling to stay safe when they were in the rectory. So I don't think the renovation has been completed. I can't even really find like a website that's just for the rectory. Like there used to be a website and now there really isn't. Now it's just everybody who's gone there.
Right.
But as for the last thing I heard, they're still renovating it, and the rumor is that it will eventually be rentable through Airbnb. Oh, and it's Ghost Adventures Season 7, Episode 6 of the Sedamsville Rectory.
Oh. Again, the bed and breakfast is probably the way to go when you have a haunted thing. I just feel like if this caused so much, like...
Yeah.
turmoil, I probably would like leave it alone.
I think it'd be good.
Like, I mean,
not good.
I'd be like, you know what, chalk it up as a loss. Okay.
I think I would definitely go there for the ghosty hunt though. Like if we had the opportunity, I would definitely
go. Like I'd be interested in that, but I wouldn't get locked in. I wouldn't want to be locked in.
Oh no, I want to get locked in.
I
want to go.
I don't.
Yeah, no, we're going to do it. It's going to be great.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That one. Right. The Conjuring house, the Lizzie Borden house. We're going to have a great time. Make a fucking list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We already have
and
one.
This is why if you join Patreon, we can start investigating places. And then we can tell you all about that.
Yeah, we could show them to you. We could even tell you when we're going. So if you want to hang out with us, that'd be fun too. Wouldn't it be fun?
That would be great. Yeah. Okay, well, that's the end of my story. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us again. We really appreciate you. If you want to hear more about all of our stuff, if you're already all caught up, join us on Patreon. You can find our Patreon through our website at deathbeforebooze.com. Click on Patreon. Subscriptions start at $5 a month. Same thing with our merch. Go to our website, click on merch. You'll get there. Make sure that you keep rate, review, subscribing. That's the best way to get the word out. I mean, even if you can't support us via Patreon, just liking and sharing our stuff every week, that helps us so much. Yeah, we keep you updated through all of our socials, Instagram, Facebook. We're on YouTube. Make sure you click the bell so you know when we put new stuff up. Other than that, I totally did it out of order, so I don't remember what I said. But thank you. We love you. See you next week.
It's fine. Love you guys. Stay spooky. Bye. Bye.